Hi everyone, I'm Caroline from the Writing Development Centre. Welcome to another round of You Ask the WDC, where we answer the questions that you've sent us. And as you may have seen, the question that you have for me today is, I'm starting a master's course, how can I make the step up? So, you're absolutely right that there is a step up. It's always a good start to have that awareness and acknowledge that it isn't just going to be more of the same. However, that step up won't look exactly the same for every student embarking on a master's course. A lot depends on what you'll be stepping up from. For instance, you could be studying exactly the same subject at master's level as you did at undergrad. You could be studying a different subject entirely. Perhaps you've had a gap between undergrad and masters. Perhaps you're completely new to UK academic culture. You could have been out of education for a while, working in a particular field, be it the same field that you'll be studying your master's in, or a different field entirely, and it can be quite tricky to transition back into a student identity from that professional expert identity. All that being said, don't think that you're going to get away without any challenges whatsoever, even if you're making an apparently seamless transition from studying the same subject at the same institution as you did for undergrad. That's when complacency can creep in. Oh, it's just more of the same. I just need to do what I did before and I'll be fine. Maybe the essays are a little bit longer, that's all. That's when you can miss that step up and stumble. So you lot in particular need to be aware of any clues from your lecturers, from your supervisors, that their expectations of you have changed. So wherever you're coming from, take some time to reflect on what you're bringing to your new course. What are the particular challenges for you personally? What aspects of your new course do you need to bring yourself up to speed on? So for instance, if you are new to UK academic culture, you might want to take a little bit of time to ask around and get a sense of how things might differ. If you are new to the subject that you're studying at master's level, then you might need to take a little bit of time at the start to consolidate your knowledge of that new subject. Whatever your background, it's always worth reflecting on the skills that you already have. You're not entirely starting from scratch here, and you will have quite a bit of experience as a student under your belt. So you'll probably already have a range of reading, writing and study strategies to draw on. What we tend to find, however, is that as we step up a level, we need to keep checking in and reviewing whether those strategies still work for us. And it may not be until you get to work on your first assignments that you can test whether those strategies are still working for you. And this brings me to a crucial point about stepping up to anything at all, which is that you need to give yourself time to adjust, to process and respond to the cues and clues that you spot in your new learning environment that give you a clear sense of what markers expect from you. Because there's just as much variation in what you're stepping up to as what you're stepping up from. The demands of a taught master's differ to those of a master's by research, for instance. Additionally, some master's courses function as an extension of undergraduate study, some seek to reskill you in an entirely different field, and some are more of a stepping stone to PhD study. As much as we always want to hit the ground running when we start a new course, you will need time to orient yourself and adjust. Speaking to tutors, picking up clues from module handbooks and the like, analysing assignment questions, instructions and criteria, talking to colleagues, analysing your feedback. They're all things that are going to help you identify what that step up might look like for you. All that being said, however, it's still possible to identify characteristics that are typical to master study across the board. And it is at this stage in proceedings that I would strongly urge you, if you haven't already, to watch our WDC Explains It All video on higher analysis, critical thinking. In that video, Helen takes you through the 6 skills that markers are typically assessing at any level of study. Of those 6 skills, knowledge and understanding constitute lower order thinking. Application, putting your knowledge and understanding to use in order to assess situations, solve problems, and propose solutions, is middle order thinking. Analysis, looking at how things work. Evaluation, considering how well they work. And synthesis, drawing everything together to produce an answer, all constitute higher order thinking. At master's level, the bar typically gets raised. Higher order thinking is the icing on the cake at undergraduate level. It's the X factor that pushes you into the 2-1s and the firsts. At master's level, however, it is the cake. If there is little or no evidence of higher order thinking in your assignments, then you are in danger of failing them. Reviewing your approach to reading is crucial in helping you develop higher order thinking skills and therefore to making the step up. It's natural and indeed sensible to begin reading for knowledge and understanding, particularly if you're new to the subject that you're studying at master's level. However, if you read solely for information, then information is all that you'll be able to pull out and your work will be overly descriptive. At master's level, it becomes even more important to question and interrogate everything you read and to take nothing at face value. For instance, how do other people know what they claim to know? Do they really know what they claim to know? What evidence have they provided, or even more tellingly, failed to provide? How have they analysed and interpreted their data? Is there a more robust way of doing it? And what about you? How are you going to use the material that you draw from your reading? How will you use it to build a case, develop an argument, consider a solution? A master's degree is all about testing the existing knowledge base. What's already out there? Where are we up to in terms of knowledge? How good is the stuff that's already out there? What do we still need to know? Check out our 3 domains of critical reading resource, which will help you read critically so that you can demonstrate the higher order thinking required at master's level. As all this suggests, your level of authority increases as you make that step up. Now, you may not feel that as a student you have the authority to question and critique the work of others in this way, but it is desired behaviour at this level. You can help ensure that your claims are persuasive and authoritative by providing evidence for them and by couching them in appropriate academic language rather than just saying that things are rubbish. As your scholarly identity develops, aim to rely less on published authors making claims for you. Gone are the days when you can merely support points with a quotation and/or a reference without interrogating the evidence on which those claims are based. You can even provide evidence of your own, provided you consider how this fits in with the existing literature. This is particularly so if you have professional experience in the subject that you're studying, something like business, psychology, or speech and language therapy, for instance. At master's level, not all of your evidence will come from books and articles. You'll be weaving different sources together to produce an answer. And your experience as a professional or as a practitioner is a particularly and equally valid source. You will, however, need to ensure that any evidence that you provide is robust, transparent, and can be critiqued by others too. Okay, so this is a very complex question that doesn't have one clear-cut answer, but hopefully this has outlined some things for you to be aware of and watch out for and help you start to consider what that step up might look like for you.